Now the Roland company has been around for 52 years, and for half of that time I've owned this. 26 years ago I bought this VK-7, a fantastic keyboard. Roland have never made anything duff, it's all good stuff. However, there is a small problem with this keyboard, and this does afflict older Roland keyboards. Now, I don't know if you can see under the keys there, I'll just zoom in on the camera, the glue that holds the weights on the keys, on the underside of the keys, has started to drop to bits. So sometimes I get two notes that stick together. There we go, there's a couple there. One of the, the A flat at the top doesn't go down on its first pressing. So it just needs a bit of a cuddle. There is a solution at hand. It involves a bucket, a solution of caustic soda, a bit of time and patience. I'm going to show you how to do this. Let's get going. So first job is to turn the keyboard upside down. You may want to put it on a case because of course if you put it upside down on a stand you might press all the keys down and it's not very stable. So I'm just going to take all the screws off this keyboard. Now of course with the model of keyboard that you've got, the screws may be in a different place, there may be a different number, but if in doubt just take photographs along the way with your phone or iPad or whatever, and just offer a little description of what you're doing, because it's very easy to become lost with all of this. So I'm just going to take this cover off. Okay, I've got the top off, or the bottom of the keyboard off, and you can see the keyboard assembly here. You're better off taking the assembly, well in fact you have to take it out of the keyboard. Usually there'll be a couple of Ridman connectors here which basically communicate the keyboard electronics to the circuits themselves. Now, don't touch any of these chips and integrated circuits here, because any static that you have on your fingers or on your body can destroy them. But don't be scared about this, because what you can do is you can get these little straps that go around your wrist that then attach to the copper pipe or any other earthing point in your house, including the mains earth. So I'm going to take the keyboard assembly out, and then we can have a really good look at how to get the keys off and then into that bucket of solution. So there's another safety feature, another safety speech that I'm going to give, because caustic soda is foul stuff. So here's the next step coming up. So I'm just going to take any earth straps off the keyboard. There we are. That's off there. Any mounting points of the actual keyboard frame. There we are, there's another one. So I'll just do all that and then you can see me lift the thing out. Of course this is going to be different for other keyboards. And so the keyboard has now come out and you can see the full extent of the glue here. It's just all gloopy and it's gone everywhere and it's horrible stuff. So the next thing to do is to remove each key. Now the B flat on one octave is going to be the same as the others. Just watch out for the end notes. We've got a C here that's on its own at the top. So we've just got to make sure, if in doubt, just take lots and lots of photographs. Now the downside to this is that getting the keys out, you've got to split the plastic very slightly in order that it comes off its axle. You've just got to be a little bit careful with this, because plastic is, especially at this age, it's going to break. I think I remember having to try and replace that C sharp, and I actually broke it and had to re-glue it. It's never been the same since. However, I'm going to take all the keys out, and then we're at the bucket of caustic soda stage. So just to demonstrate how to get the first key out, we've got these two little jaws here that surround a little axle onto which the sort of key assembly is mounted. What you can do is you can get a screwdriver that's just slightly bigger than the hole here, so that you can actually just wiggle it out one side and then the other very, very gently, just to prise these two bits of plastic off here. And then the key will come off like this, and then you have to slide it back slightly, because there's a little lip here that you can see, this, which holds onto the underside of the keyboard. Now there are springs on each key, and of course the electrical contact, which is mounted on the circuit board below. So we've got to do this for each of these keys. So that's the top C. If you like, you can just put a marker pen on the side just to say, oh yes, this is key number 61. There's a 61 key keyboard, and you can number them all the way down if you like. Now, because the black keys are obviously held within the white ones, you do have to take all the white ones off first. So it's just a bit of a painstaking process, but once you've got it done and got it all clean, you've got yourself a new keyboard, and I hope that this thing will continue to serve its 26 plus years, really. Which is a good job, because I've got a few gigs coming up on Hammond organ exclusively, so I've got to make this work. So just to show you a close-up here, you can see the weight is here, just held in the bottom of the front end of the key, and the glue has dripped down onto this piece here, and it's just really gloopy, horrible, sticky stuff. And of course, if it runs down here, the side of the key, that's where you get your two keys rubbing together. So it's a thoroughly undesirable scenario, but there we are, never mind, just keep going. Now at this point it's worth pointing out, in fact, that most of the black keys are absolutely fine. So I'm going to leave them. I can always do it again at a later date, but I don't really want to do work I don't have to do. However, the tray at the bottom here where the white keys sit, where they hit, is smothered in stuff. So obviously I can't dip this whole thing in caustic soda, but I can at least scrape off the glue that's on the leading edge there. So here's the next stage. This is a bucket of caustic soda solution. It's pure sodium hydroxide crystals dissolved in water. It is really dangerous stuff, this. But what it's going to do is to separate the weights and dissolve all the glue, and then you can get going again and glue the weights back in with araldite. And you get rid of all of this mess and you get a nice fresh new keyboard. Now I've got a box with a lid on here, which I'm going to weigh it down. You don't want pets getting anywhere near this. That's catastrophic vet spills. That's if the pet still exists at the end of it. So I'm just going to drop the keys in very, very carefully. There we are. Just one after the other. And there we are. And then wait a bit. So here I am 24 hours or so after I dip those keys in caustic soda, and here they are completely clean. And actually I've got the mix of caustic soda exactly right. I didn't last time when I repaired another keyboard, because all the weights came out and we had to araldite, whereas actually the weights have remained in the keys here. So there's still a tiny bit of glue holding that weight in, and actually I've tapped it to try and get it out and it won't come out. So I've got the mix pretty much exactly right. Now, the keyboard, it's all ready to go back in, but obviously be very, very careful of the plastic. Luckily, they go in more easily than they come out. But so there we are. There is a method of repairing the very gluey, horrible keys on a Roland keyboard, and I hope that this keyboard will indeed see another quarter of a century of service. That would be very nice. So there we are. Now, just as an aside, I did about 500 grams of the caustic soda, the crystals, the sodium hydroxide crystals, in roughly 2 gallons of water, or 10 litres roughly. So it kind of, well, we ended up with the right mix. And there we are. And just to show the keys going back in, you just got to make sure they're all marked notes wise. I mean, I didn't bother numbering them in the end, because actually they're the same per octave, so you don't need to worry about getting the specific G. All the G's are the same D. C and F are grouped together, and so are E and B, they're the same. Just got the top C, of course, but there we are.